Take you to the city of Tshwane is Jordan Griffiths, who joins us now to give us an update on the situation there after water cuts because reservoirs went low due to maintenance. Thank you very much, Jordan, for your time here on All Angles. How's it looking in the city of Tshwane? I believe that the repairs are happening from Rand Water and that there are some communities who do have water and electricity right now.
Thank you. Good afternoon to you and to all the viewers out there. In fact, the interview that you just had with the gentleman from Ekurhuleni directly relates to our issue as well in the city of Tshwane. The background of it is important because effectively what happened was that on the weekend, this past weekend, one of the main eSCA substations that powers one of the Rand Water boosters in Ekurhuleni went down for over 2 days. eSCA had to repair that substation, which they were able to conclude, I think, by Monday, at which point, of course, reservoir levels in vast parts of Pretoria East had dropped considerably. And as they were recovering, then there were cable faults, or I believe it was cable theft, again, that targeted that substation, which again plunged it down on the Tuesday, which the teams at Ekurhuleni had to respond to. So that substation went down again, and obviously the Rand Water boosters went down again. And we are effectively, how would one describe it, as almost downstream. We're a customer as the city of Tshwane. So it just gives you a good idea of how incredibly fragile this infrastructure is and how interconnected it is. A substation goes down to a booster pump. That booster pump doesn't pump water. And all of a sudden, major metros, including Ekurhuleni, have their taps running dry, which is what happened in the city of Tshwane. Rand Water has since restored pressure reasonably well to the city of Tshwane, although currently there are a number of reservoirs that are still struggling to recover in our high-lying areas towards parts of the east of the city. And we're providing residents updates almost 2 to 3 statements a day as our teams inspect and evaluate the recovery of these reservoirs. But we are wholly and heavily dependent on Rand Water as our bulk supplier of water to ensure that these matters are addressed. And unfortunately, this is also a recurring issue for us. We had similar issues last year when Rand Water's infrastructure failed and our laudium reservoirs ran dry, which affected large parts of the west of the city of Tshwane. And so it really is a really critical issue that Rand Water's infrastructure is sustained in order to ensure that it can provide adequate needs to the residents of Tshwane and to Gauteng.
And of course, as a customer, have you as the municipality been in communication with Rand Water to find out exactly when they expect that their reservoirs will at least be at a capacity that will allow all residents of Tshwane to have access to water?
Our teams are continuously engaging with them to try and find out what else can be done to increase the level of pressure to the city of Tshwane. One of the things, for instance, we've asked is that they relax the water restrictions that are in place so that they can be full pressure and that our reservoirs can recover timeously, and then thereafter they can re-implement the water restrictions. So we're continuously trying to get updates to make sure that there's also, because we've had issues before where our reservoirs have not recovered, and then despite assurances, we've interrogated Rand Water only to discover that there was a technical issue on their side in terms of the provision of water. It does seem that we are now gradually seeing a slow recovery in our core reservoirs. Obviously, those at high-lying areas will take longer than those that are at lower altitudes.
And have they given you a timeline? I'm sure residents of Tshwane ask you for the timeline, and as a customer, you have to go back to Rand Water. Have they given you a timeline?
Unfortunately not. It's very difficult to predict exactly when the reservoirs are going to fill up because obviously there is also usage in place. So we are trying to encourage residents to use water sparingly because you need a system of reservoirs to fill up before those at the end are able to catch up. And this critically is the problem. Everyone wants to know the ETR, the estimated time of restoration, which is information that we are wholly dependent on from our bulk supplier.
All right, Jordan Griffiths, thank you very much for speaking to us here on All Angles. He is spokesperson of the city of Tshwane. Still to